Lisa King, who's a former player, is a colonel and on the command staff there, and so he came back with the command sergeant majors, and so they were in the locker room with us, which was really neat. So we're glad to have them there. And so when I lived in Hawaii for a couple of years, as you probably remember me talking about it. So it means a lot to me to get away from them. So yeah, thank you. Proud of our guys. What a hard fought win. First of all, just credit to UTSA. They played a really good football game and fought. And Coach Traylor does such an excellent job coaching that team. They're talented, and I mean, it was just a battle all the way through. And fortunately, we made some plays, made some critical errors we were able to overcome, which I hope's a good sign. I wish we wouldn't have some of those the foolish penalties, the unsportsmanlike penalties. Very rare that we have those. We had 2 today. But the guys they overcame some adversity, and to be down in the 4th quarter like we were and get a score, come up with a couple of interceptions that were absolutely huge in the football game, and get that critical stop at the very end. Because certainly we got stopped on 3 downs, didn't move the ball at all, missed a field goal, and they had momentum, and we were able to come up with that play. So proud of our seniors, great senior class. They've led this team. 4 senior captains who have just done a tremendous job, and it was great to be able to honor them on Senior Day. And I'm excited to know that we're going to get a chance to play one more time here at Mikey Stadium next Friday night. So looking forward to the opportunity to play in the championship game. It's going to take a great effort next week. Tulane's got an unbelievable team, well coached, and it'll take the very best effort we've shown this entire season to win the game. But I know our guys are excited about having that opportunity, and it's great to get a win for our guys today.
Go ahead, Ken.
Coach, just on Bryson Daly, he got the early touchdown to Tyrell Robinson, and then in the second half he ran one for after on the short field. He got the 1-yard run for a touchdown. Then he ran 42 yards to get the 2 touchdowns. Just talk about his game today and his leadership.
It's hard to encapsulate just what he's meant to this team this year in terms of his leadership and his play. I mean, he's been the kind of the leader of our team with the way he's played and the way he's led. He's tough, physical. Obviously had an injury that kept him out of the game, and to see him come back the next week and rush for over 100 yards and lead our team to victory, just I think embodies all of the things that we hope for in an Army football player. He's tough, he's humble, he works really, really hard, and he does his job. He executes the job that he has, and he does it very selflessly, does it for the team. And so I'm really proud of him. He's a great kid, got a great family, he's a coach's kid, and just loves the game of football. And we're very fortunate to have him as our quarterback.
And on defense, Caleb Fordner had a sack in the first half that forced a punt, and then later he got a fumble recovery. And then Andon Thomas, 14 tackles. I mean, your inside linebackers really played very well.
Those 2 guys have played really well all this year, Ken. And Caleb obviously made a lot of plays for us a year ago as a starter. The fumble recovery he got, they snapped it early. I think they were miscommunicated, and the ball was kind of rolling around. We were able to get on it. That was a big play because we had just turned the ball over, and we were able to get a field goal before halftime. And as it turns out, certainly big points for us in the ball game. Andon Thomas he's just been a great player at that position all year, and he takes a pounding. I mean, to be in on that many tackles, and you're playing blocks, and you're having guys run into you, and you're diving for balls, and he's played really those two guys are both guys that our team leads on for leadership. You know, they're not team captains, but they're on the leadership council, voted by their teammates and classmates on the team, and deservedly so. They're both really good players and good leaders, and they'll probably find themselves as captains next year, just because of who they are and how much they meant to our team.
Just ask a final question on, you got the 2 interceptions late in the game that were so pivotal from Colin Madison and Casey Larkin. What did you see setting up those 2 interceptions in the fourth quarter?
You know, they were trying to hit some big plays, and they needed to. It's just at that point in the game, and they had to take some shots. And on the one, Colin just did a really nice job. It was a little underthrown, and he cut it. He was on the backside of the receiver, and he cut underneath it and made a nice interception and a really good return. It set us up on about the 50 or a little bit, maybe might have been in plus territory. And then the last one was a great play by Gavin Shields. I mean, he went up and defended the ball, and the ball popped up in the air, and Casey was able to grab a hold of it and wisely went to the ground, and we were able to finish out the game there. So both of those really good plays, and certainly had clutch moments in the game.
Thanks, Coach.
Go ahead, Chuck.
Coach, did it make you nervous at all when you guys got behind during the fourth?
Nervous wouldn't necessarily be how I'd describe my emotions. Feel a sense of urgency when you're behind in the fourth quarter that you got to score. And it was tough. I mean, it was tough sledding there, as they say, throughout the game. We weren't getting the yards in the interior run with the running backs and the quarterback that we've been accustomed to getting, and that credit UTSA. They did a really nice job. They had a good plan, and their players were doing a really good job playing blocks. And just some frustrating things, like having the ball down there on the 1 yard line, and I thought we had punched it in, and they put it on the 2-inch line, and then we jump off sides. Things like that, and not getting the points that we could have. Those things are frustrating. And so, to have a fourth quarter deficit and know that we're going to have to drive the field to be able to get some points, there's a sense of urgency, because it's not like we've been plowing through them all day long and we felt like, hey, we can just line up and run our base schemes here and hammer these guys. And we were pitching the ball in the perimeter, and they were triggering their corners and making it tough on us on the perimeter, which is why we had to rely on the pass some. We were able to get some guys open on the play action passes, and we had some nice throws and some nice catches. We had a couple of drops that would have been nice to have completed, but I think we just kind of found a way and did what we needed to claw our way back. So the stop on 4th and 2 or 4th and 1.5 or whatever it was, they were going to punt. When we switched from the third to the fourth quarter, in the first play, they brought the punt team out. We left our defense on the field, and just in case they were going to fake it on 4th and 1. And as it turned out, after the break, they trotted their offense back out in the field, put the defense out there, and we stopped them. And it was a huge play. So, and then we scored after that. And that was a big turn of events as well.
Were you surprised that they went for it in that situation?
I think they had to. Certainly we would have gone for it there. I think they had to go for it there. And just if they can turn the sticks, hang on to the ball, and go through even 3 more plays and punt, more time runs off the clock, fewer opportunities for us in our possessions, and it's hard to score without the ball. And so if they can maintain possession and get a first down, that gave them a pathway to the end zone. So had they punted, I could see why they wouldn't there, because they kind of had to, they're backed up to their own goal line a little bit. But I think we all as coaches at some point just got to feel like, if we can move the ball 3 feet, maybe we can earn victory. And if we can't move it 3 feet, I've been in this situation before. I don't know if we're good enough to win if we can't get those 3 feet when we need it. It's like being on the goal line. You punch the ball in and try to score on the goal line, and sometimes people get a goal line stand on you, and at the end of the game, if you don't win, it's like, hey, we get the ball that close and we can't get in the end zone, the other team probably deserves to win. So we've been in that situation too.
The depth on defense has been really key this year. Coach Whitty moving guys in and out, and to have guys like Matson and Shields make plays, key plays in the game, that has to even reinforce that depth that you've had all year long.
It's great to see those guys making plays like that, and they get a lot of practice reps. The defensive line, they rotate a lot of those guys in. Probably inside linebacker position, they don't rotate as much. You see those 2 guys in there most of the game. The corners is kind of a 3-man rotation. There's Mays, Platt, and Weaver. And on the back end, I mean, Casey Larkin and Max going to play as many plays as they can, but to see those 2 guys come in for the guys that were injured, it was awesome to see guys like that step up and make plays. But what I'm proud of, those guys as backups prepare like starters. They don't wait until they're the starter and then they pay more attention in meetings, or they become more intentional with their reps at practice. This team really prepares well, like they're starters, and so when a guy has to go in, he's ready, and they're starters for a reason. We do feel like those guys give us the best chance, but there aren't a lot of positions on our team where if the starter goes out, the backup has to go in, we're scratching our head and crossing our fingers and hoping. I think our guys will go in and really try and execute.
Those are 2 guys that really had to work their way up the depth chart too. They were the guys that were in anything, right? I mean,
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Colin Madison's a guy that, a year ago, at this point a year ago, I didn't know if he would ever play for us. I didn't know if he'd ever get in a game on special team or safety position. And I've said that so many times, Sal. We've been here 11 years having similar conversations, but I think Austin Schufert back, I don't know, was it 4 or 5 years ago? He's starting for us in the most critical games in his senior year. And I would have told you 2 years before that, he'll never play because he just hadn't quite got there. But they just develop and they work so hard. And these guys care so much. It means so much to them. And so, you can't dynamite them out of the weight room. They get in there and work. And when they come in here tomorrow, they're going to be ready to meet and watch film and anxious to figure out how they can be better. They're not looking, I can't wait to see that play where I made a play. They want to see the ones where they got to get better. And that's what I appreciate about our team. They have to be that way. We're not talented enough to just walk in the meeting room and say, all right, well, we can fix that. That's real easy. Our guys got to work at it. But the coaches have done a good job, and they get coached with a lot of detail. Danny Verpel coaches our safeties. Coach Woody and the job he does with our defensive staff and getting those coaches, coaching the coaches, coaches coaching their players. Really a great team effort. Coach Worley, he's doing a terrific job with the offense and putting a lot on Bryson, but he can handle it.
Coach, I noticed that you played, the offense was a little bit different from the get-go. Noah Short was getting more balls, some more passing, obviously, right from the start. Was that the strategy going in?
Bryson ran it 39 times last week, and he can run the ball a lot and handle it. He's run it over 30 times this year before. But we got to take some of it off of him. He can't run it every single down. So we really wanted to distribute the ball and get some carries to other guys and take some of that off of Bryson. And so it was a conscious effort to do that. The passes are oftentimes a little reactionary to what they're presenting. And as I said, they were firing their corners, and we couldn't pitch the ball out there, and we couldn't block them and arc them. As soon as as soon as we brought motion and that action started, they were triggering those guys. But that allowed some of those play action passes to open up. And sometimes that's the only way you can get their attention. We can't go out there and cut them anymore. We used to be able to go out there and just throw at their legs and cut them, and then, that would solve some of the problems. But now we've got to do it with other tools in the tool kit. So that the play action passes is just a way to slow them down and to try to keep them from triggering every time we run a guy in motion.
Martin's 8-0 in the league in the first year. What's your feeling now, and did you think this was possible in middle of August?
Yeah, in August, I was just hoping we could have a good week of preseason camp to start camp. And by the end of August, I was hoping that we'd have a good enough team to compete against Lehigh. And so, I don't know, I never thought about or crossed my mind to even consider, well, what would it be like to be 8-0 in the league? We're just trying to be 1-0 every week. And our guys have had that attitude, and it's certainly my attitude. But it's a great accomplishment for our players to be able to do that. And it's hard to do. It's hard to go undefeated. And certainly we're not undefeated. We lost last week. And we're not undefeated in the league. We got the potential to be, but there's one more game to play, and it'll be the hardest game of the year against the best team in the league. And so it'll be a great challenge next Friday night, and we're excited about the opportunity, but we're gonna have to have great preparation and great execution next Friday night in order to have a chance to win. So proud of our guys. Anything's possible for any team. It's just a matter of each team and how their guys do, doing their job and following their plan. And our guys have done a pretty good job of trying to do their job. They're 1/11th on each play, and trying to execute in the critical areas of the game, which for us is the third down plays on the goal line, the kicking game, being effective running the ball and stopping the run, which we've done a pretty good job of that this year. We've done, for the most part, a good job on defensive, keeping big plays in front of us, not giving up too many of those. Today we had a lot of negative yardage plays on offense. It's one of the things we really try to focus on, not get behind the sticks. And I think at halftime we had 6 negative yardage plays. And so there's critical areas of the game that we believe in. We really try to build our game plan on how to execute in those areas. And so if we do that, we can do it consistently, then that gives us a chance to win. Each week's a new week. But like I said, I never think about, okay, here's our schedule, and it's possible for us to go 8-0. Teams in this league and teams we play are so athletic, so well coached, so talented, that I just feel like every week it's going to be a really difficult chore for us to win the football game. And I knew that today. And they're playing their best football right now, UTSA. And so we beat a good football team today.
Thank you, Coach.
We'll go to do you have one, John?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Coach, this was a close 5-point game.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Granati comes on, gets 3 field goals for it, gets all his PATs. He's been strong all year.
Mm-hmm.
This was probably his strongest game. Can you talk about his importance today and throughout the season?
Oh, that's I love talking about Trey. Here's a guy. He's worked his entire career at West Point for this opportunity to be the starter and be our kicker. And if we were at another school, he might have transferred already. See the writing on the wall. So I'm gonna go somewhere where I can kick, be the starting kicker. And he earned the job this year as the place kicker, the field goal PAT kicker. And then when our kickoff specialist got hurt, Anderson, he came in and handled those duties well, and he's done a really so proud of him. But he has worked so hard, and he's got such a great attitude and a mental toughness about him. That's one of the things I think Coach Saturnio does so well, and I appreciate so much about him as a coach, is he coaches those guys like football players. And so they are tough, and they they feel a great sense of responsibility to do their job well. And Trey's just been fantastic. I think he missed that late field goal. It was a longer field goal. It was 47 yards. That's no chip shot for anybody. And I don't know what the percentage is on those kicks in college, but it's going to be on the lower end of the 50-50 ball. It's probably a little better than 50-50, but no chip shot. So he missed that one, but he's been so good. That might have been his first miss this year.
It was.
So he's done a great job. He's a great kid. I hope he'll keep kicking the ball well, because I'm sure we're going to need his leg as we go throughout the rest of the games here this coming week and the week to follow, and whatever comes after that.
Thanks.
We'll do 2 on Zoom quick. Joey O'Connell, go ahead.
Hey, Coach Monken, congratulations on the win. You talked about the smart play Casey Larkin made, going down, sliding, taking the knee after the interception. Talk about another slide knee take by Bryson Daly there at the end of the first half with a couple seconds left for you guys to be able to set up and kick the field goal. We've seen NFL quarterbacks get that wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So talk about what a good job Bryson did there, sliding down and making sure he made the smart play. Did you guys talk about it beforehand, or was it just something he had practiced enough to be able to nail?
We practice it, and we've got a term that we use. There are several scenarios that we have. The North Texas game, 2 games ago, Bryson at the end of the game busted out of there and went down. He could have kept running, and even if he could have scored a touchdown, we wouldn't have scored a touchdown there. It was a situation where as soon as he got the first down, we knew that if we just turned the sticks and got a new set of downs, that we could take knees and kill the clock. And so the goal is to, in that situation, is to not allow the other team to have a pathway to victory. Today, then we did get, they called timeout right before it. So we had made the call. We were going to run the play. We had used the term, the tag term we have. He tells everybody in the huddle, so everybody in the huddle knows if I've got the ball in my hands, that I'm going to go down. Unless I can score a touchdown in that situation, I'm wide open, then I'm going to go down and be able to, kill the clock and kick a field goal. So got a timeout, so we talked to all of them about it again, talked to Bryson, and so as he was running, he recognized the guys were kind of collapsing on him. He wasn't going to be able to score a touchdown, so he went down, and that gave us an opportunity to kick the field goal in. There was, I think, 8 seconds on the clock, perhaps, when we took that snap, and when we took the slide, there was 4. So I let him run the clock, and I said, just take it down to 3 or less, and I'll call timeout. And so they did, and it's the last play field goals. But that was the good fortune we had of that fumble recovery we got that hit the quarterback. And again, it was right after our turnover. They turned it back over, and it was great to get that 3 points.
Ken McMillan, go ahead and wrap us up.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you, Joe.
Hi, Jeff. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Jeff, you told us way back in April, even before you guys joined the AAC, that this is the reason why you joined a league, to have a chance at a league title, but also, stay in the hunt for a CFP spot too. Can you just talk about the significance of that decision to go to a league and now being in the position to win?
In today's college football world, with the expanded playoff, and a guarantee that the highest ranked group of 5 conference champion would have a chance to go to the college football playoffs. If you're not in a conference, you're on the outside looking in. And I think in some ways we would be irrelevant certainly our academy counterparts who had both been a part of conferences with the expanded playoff, immediately, well, that gives us a pathway to the playoff. And if we remained independent, though that's been valuable for us and great for this institution for most of the history of the program, we had to do it. So fortunately, the American extended invitation and the relationships that Mike Buddy and General Gillen had made with Mike Oresco who was the commissioner at the time in the American Athletic Conference, we were able to join the league and accept the invitation. So I'm glad we did. It was the right time for us to do that. To be playing in the conference championship game the first year is probably a little improbable. It's not something you anticipate. And a year ago, when we were having the press conference, and we sat out there on those chairs in Mikey Stadium, we might have been 2-6 at the time, or 2-5 at the time, and I was thinking, God, I don't know if we can save the equipment. We're going to go join a league that's full of talented teams and well-coached teams, and we're just trying to get to the next week and win a game. And fortunately, we finished out the season strong last year. That was strong leadership we had in our program a year ago, and then able to start off well this year and play well and make enough plays, and we started to put some wins together. But frankly, we just never really. We haven't talked about it at all, about trying to go undefeated in the league or anything like that. So it's not ever been about that. It's just trying to do the best we can to get the next victory. And so I'm so proud of our team. That's really where we've been. And I'm glad we joined the conference. It's awesome to be in this position, to have a chance to play for a conference championship. And not something you take for granted. There's I think 14 teams in this league. So we're one of the two that gets to play. It's pretty great for our guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Coach.